people that cover the sport seem like it's a fait accompli. We get one more year of baseball, and then we're all in trouble, right? There's going to be a stoppage, whatever you want to call it, a strike, a lockout, blah, blah, blah.
Whatever.
Right, whatever. It doesn't matter what you call it. The end result is the same. Where are you right now, and the folks that make up your think tank and your trusted advisors with baseball and the relationship you have with the union representatives? Do you think that is a reality? And do you think you guys can get to the table enough times to maybe work something out, or even push back, extend the CBA while negotiating? What do you think about that?
Look, I do think there has been a rush to negativity by a lot of the media that covers.
Well, the last
sport.
one was pretty ugly. Last one was, and it went pretty long.
But that was Max Scherzer's fault. He's going to be around for the next one.
And there was multiple times where we thought we were missing games. So I mean,
look, here's the thing. I came inside at baseball in 1998. We have always played through 5 or 6 rounds of bargaining. We have always played 162 games. Okay, all I can tell you is that when I came, my goal was to make sure that every time we bargained, we played 162, and that's my goal this time around. We haven't even started the process. And, candid conversation about, we see things that, need to be addressed. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make this proposal or that proposal. I think we have to wait and see how things unfold at the table. We got lots and lots of time to work on it. And the most important thing for fans is certainly my goal to make sure that we played 162 games next year.
Realignment, right? We got possible expansion and realignment coming up. Where are we with the expansion idea? And then with realignment, can Yankee fan and Met fans, and this would be great for us, can we envision a time where Yankees and Mets are in the same division? What does that mean for American League, National League? We just talked about the tradition of baseball. Like, how dramatic of this expansion and realignment could change the game?
Yeah, so let's start with, first of all, I would like to expand. I think 32 would be good for us. And, fundamentally, there's a lot of cities like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, you ought to try to, find a way to sell it to them. It's kind of basic, number one. Number two, it does a ton of for us from a format perspective. You would realign. You would do it along geographic lines, which could alleviate a ton of the travel burden that's on players. Remember, we ask our players 162 times in 186 days. So most of the play between 162 and 186 travel, right? I mean, so you can eliminate a lot of that travel, make it less burdensome, which would be a great thing in terms of player health and safety. And if you played geographically, we get in a postseason, we have those 4 window days that I love, right? You get 4 baseball games in a day, it's awesome. But when you think about the fans in the individual markets, you always end up with, because of the way we're set up, you get Boston versus Anaheim in one of the early rounds. So you're either going to be too late for the fans in Boston or too early. So if you realign geographically, you would look more like other sports where you play up east into the World Series and west into the World Series. And that 10 o'clock game on the West Coast that sometimes is a problem for us becomes a primetime game on the West Coast for the two teams that are playing. So there's a lot of advantages to it. I think if you did it, you'd probably be 8-4s, right? Okay. And I think you would try to keep the 2 team cities separate.
You would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So they would not be in the same division.
Yeah. That would be my thinking.
By the way, I know you announced a couple years ago, I think you said 5 more years and that's a wrap for you. Yeah. The juices are still flowing, though. Yeah. You going to stick by that? And are you ready to?
Yeah, I'm done at the end. I'm done at the end of this contract. I've told them that, and I'm going to stick to it. I'll be 70 when I'm done.
So it's enough.
Yeah, it is enough.
Right. The grandkids want to spend more time with you, right?
Yeah, look, I also think, you have a certain period of time when you have things that you want to accomplish. You take your best shot. You try to get as much done as possible, and then it's sort of time for the next guy with his set of things. And I think that's healthy and good for the sport.